after passing grade 10, I went to Kathmandu, studied there, and I was pretty interested in science since my childhood. So engineering was the way I wanted to go. So I took that, and even in engineering, I had an interest in the aeronautics field, but later I just made it work with the mechanical. There was no access to aeronautical engineering in Nepal, and I didn't have any access to foreign education, something like that. So I just did mechanical engineering. Also, in that field, later, while going through mechanical engineering, I was pretty interested in these statistical processes and process control, quality management, those stuff. Mostly, I'm pretty interested in the management sector of engineering more than the calculations and stuff like that.
So you're saying you're saying less technical, more management. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I find myself more interested and more enthusiastic in those things,
Okay.
material and stuff like that. So yeah, I finished my undergrad there, and in my final year, we had a project in which we made one engine. There were four of us. We made one engine. It worked really fine. It was fun to do that project. And yeah, after that, I started working as an instructor at one of the engineering colleges in Kathmandu. I taught there for like 1 year, and after that, I had further plans to come to the US. And basically, what attracted me towards US is the availability of funding as a graduate research or teaching assistant, and also
So they give you the funding.
Excellent education, of course.
So they gave you the funding to do your masters. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. So yeah, I applied to a bunch of universities, talked to a bunch of professors, and then one professor from the University of Utah. I liked his research a lot. He was working in the field of microfluidics. So I worked with him, and the project that I handle in his lab is regarding a device which is used to contribute to the sector of artificial insemination.
Mm-hmm.
So they basically have a microfluidic device which separates the cells, sperm cells from RBCs and WBCs, so that it can be purified and used effectively for artificial insemination. So it was pretty interesting. It actually helps solve the problem of low speed, high cost, and stuff like that. For the current technologies being used for that process.
So what is your so are you graduated already, or are you gonna graduate?
I have already graduated from the university.
You already graduated?
Yeah, I already defended. I'll be getting my certificate in August, but I have already defended it's basically I've already graduated.
So what are you planning now? What's your next thing that you had in your mind? Like find a job or do what?
Yeah, find a job basically. I mean, PhD probably if it comes up, I might want to do it later after maybe 5 or 6 years, but not right now. I don't want to get involved in a PhD right now. So I'm looking to get some job experience in the US itself. And what I'm interested in is quality management as a quality engineer or either project engineer or process engineer. In probably those roles would best suit me, I think, because personally, I think I'm pretty good at statistical analysis for process control.
I see you have done some Six Sigma certification also, right?
Yeah, I have. I have green belt for the Six Sigma, and I also right now I'm also taking a bunch of courses in Coursera. And
as I said, did you like the Six Sigma?
Yeah, I love it. That's the reason why I took that course and got that specialization certificate. I'm really interested in that field. and that work. If I can, I'm trying to get some job for that position, quality management, process improvement, and stuff
Wow.
like that.
So, Sabine, I understand. Let me ask you a couple of questions. What is your short-term goal, like in next, right now, and next 2, 3 years, and what is your long-term goal?
Okay, short-term goal.
Find a job.
I want to get find a job, get some understanding about how companies work in the US. Because long term, I plan on going back to Nepal and hopefully launch something of my own.
Okay.
And use the knowledge that I get here.
Okay. Let me ask you another
Also,
thing. Are you an international student or you have a green card or something?
I'm an international student.
International student.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I already have my OPT card with me, and it will be I'll be authorized to work from the first week of July officially.
Okay.
So I have like 1 year from now.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm just looking for it.
Right, right. So I'm looking at your questions also. So couple of things, right, which I talk in my videos also all the time is, this is not the right time to graduate.
Yeah, I do.
And you are not just the one person. Everybody is having this problem right now. That's number one.
Mhm.
So my answer to you would be, have you thought about what if I'm not able to find a job? What I'm going to do? Have you thought about that?
Well, yeah. So the last option for me would be to just join a PhD program.
Okay, but do you know when you will make that decision?
Uh, I'm not sure yet.
No,
I might wait for
the reason
like
I'm
4 months.
the reason I'm asking you, because you can't join a PhD program in middle of November, right?
Yeah,
You have to make that decision right now if you want to do it in
yeah,
August,
yeah.
right? And the second question I have, do you know if you have some sort of a assurity about from somewhere that we can admit you with a scholarship in a PhD program?
I talked to my professor about that, and he's pretty willing to take me in for a PhD program if I want to.
Okay.
But yeah, the problem is about the timing. So yeah, that's a problem.
No, no. Why there is a problem in timing for him? Because you are in the same school, you can go there back, right?
Yeah, problem in timing is for me because I need to wait for a job as well, and I need to make the decision of joining the PhD as well. So it's just I don't know this or that situation.
Is it possible for you to work? So let me tell you this thing. So
Mhm.
what I understand is your first priority is to look for a job, right? And to find a job.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
But then you are also have to you have to be careful if you're not able to find a job. You don't want to be out of status, right?
yeah.
So let me ask you, are you willing to wait till December before you can say, I can make a decision? Because right now it's too early for you to make a decision, right? So do you think you have enough dollars that you can wait until December and pay for your rent, pay for your food and everything and make a decision in December, and your professor is able to take you in December?
Yeah, I might. I'll be able to manage until December. But the problem would probably be my visa status because after I have my OPT, I probably have like 90 days or something like that to get a job and start working on.
Right, right. So what I'm thinking is, can you ask your advisor if you can work in his lab as a project assistant or something? Is it possible or no?
Yeah, that might be possible. That's also one thing that I discussed with him. So it seems like there's this one way which can make people stay in these status. So I have talked to him about that. I asked him if he could keep me in his lab as
Even as a volunteer?
Yeah, a volunteer. Yeah, that's the exact word I was searching for. So as a volunteer, so if you could do that, it seems like I will not be out of the status.
Right.
So that's one option I'm looking at as well.
Okay. Okay. So I'm glad you said that. Okay. So here's the thing I think you should do. So talking to you, my understanding is you want to give finding a job as a first option as much as you can, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So I think that's what you should do now is talk to your professor right away and get an assurity that can he allow you to work in his lab as a volunteer or can give you at least some money hourly.
yeah,
Okay, talk to him first.
yeah,
If he says yes, if he says yes, you can wait till December, keep applying for job, and in December you can make a decision that okay, nothing is working out. I can. What is my second option? Whether join a PhD in January or something. Okay,
yeah.
that's number one.
Hmm.
That's number one option. You, if you want to write it down, that's number one option.
Yeah,
Number two option is if you says because my worry is because there is a risk there. There is a risk is you may waste your 6 months and you may not able to find a job. So you wasted your
yeah.
6 months, right? And it can happen because
Hmm.
looking at the situation right now, this situation can go for 6 months or maybe a year or more, right? So this situation can go for a year or more, right? So my advice you to be is to is this your job to take that risk. And if you tell your professor on Monday that I'm ready to join a PhD, he will most likely to give you that job. But if you tell that professor, can I join a job in January, then the likelihood would be less.
Yeah,
So you are carrying that risk also because after that you will have no choice then. That's so this is one scenario. Second scenario is I feel that if you want to go for a PhD, your GRE score is valid, your TOEFL score is valid, and your TOEFL score is very good. I hope your GRE score is very good. I will advise you to look for PhDs somewhere else. Don't do at the same place
okay. What is that?
because it is very important to get some new experience, especially with PhD, and most importantly, doing at a better school.
Yeah,
So right
yeah.
now, see, when you were in Nepal, you had very limited understanding. You're in US now. What's stopping you? Go to Stanford.
Yeah,
No, I'm not. See, I'm being very serious because
yeah, yeah.
your horizon has opened now,
Mhm.
right? So what I another piece of advice would be is okay. You can say, let me take a risk, and I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna just work with my advisor as a volunteer, and I'm gonna apply in the meantime to better schools. And let's say if I was you, and I get a admission at Stanford or Austin or Dartmouth or Columbia, I will go. No choice,
Yeah,
right? So this
yeah,
is also going to give you another opening so that you can do something much better than. And right
yeah.
now, what is happening is I can tell you that for sure. I have friends who are professors now, and they are asking me, "Do you know any student?"
Okay.
Because nobody is coming from India and China, nobody, or from anywhere
Yeah,
else. So they are looking for
yeah.
students,
Mhm.
and many students are going back. Many people who I have spoken have they lost their job are going back to school. RN OPT cannot find a job, going back to school. Everybody is doing it, and it is very common if when the situation or the job market goes bad, people go back to school. It's very common,
Yeah,
right? And I don't think that is a bad idea, to be honest. So if you're going to
okay.
go back to Utah, if I was you, I would say let me wait for 6 months and go to another school, better school, maybe somewhere else. Why I want to stay in Utah? I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's not a nice place, I have been there. I have a friend who graduated from University of Utah. It's a very beautiful place, but you can find a better school now, right?
Mm.
So give that a thought, because I would say you should have done that in January, but you are already late
Yeah.
doing that. So I would say give yourself a chance. Don't go out of status, and you can also do one thing. If you're able to secure your admission, let's say for example, if you're able to, so let's say if it comes December or sometime in November, because that for the admission in August 2021, you have to start applying in December somewhere, right? You start applying December, January.
Yeah. Mm.
I would say
Yeah.
if you start applying, and by the time February, March, you know whether you have admission or not. If you find an admission and everything opens up, spend some time back in home, 3 4 months, relax and come back and join your PhD,
Yeah.
right? Give yourself some time. And because trust me, this is the only time you have. If you get some free time, do it, because after that you won't get any time. It will be study, 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 and job. So that is also a possibility. But if you ever decide to go back to school, my advice strongly would be go to a better place, because the next best thing that will happen to you will be based on that.
Mm.
Because
Yeah. Yeah.
because who knows, after that you know, if you go to a better school, trust me, there are multiple options open. If let's say your advisor is one of the best advisor in the world right now, no doubt, then join him too. That's fine. But you have already been Utah. You have already been in University of Utah. You have already worked in his lab. Dude, go out. Do find
Mm.
somewhere else. Yeah. So
Mm. Okay. Yeah. That's actually a pretty very good point.
yeah.
I did think about that as well, but yeah, it's probably just being accustomed to this place and
No, 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 no.
all this.
Don't never get comfortable. That moment you are
Yeah.
comfortable, you are going down. Okay? In any job.
Uh,
If I'm comfortable in my job right now, I'm saying I'm so relaxed because I have to do nothing and I my job is like this. Trust me, dude, I'm going down. So keep moving.
mm,
Okay? Don't get comfortable. Especially at this age. You don't have to be. You're not 55 or 40 years old or something, dude. You need to move on.
mm,
Even if you're able to find a PhD at Oxford or some better school in Europe or Australia or whatever, I will go there. Doesn't matter. But since you're in US, I would say US is the best place to go to schools. There are so many good schools here. Just join somewhere. And looking at your job profile, looking at what you have done, I have no doubt in my mind that you won't be able to find admission. If you have a good GRE score, trust me, you can find much better school now, because your horizon
mm,
has opened. Okay. Another thing I want to tell you, you talked about your career prospect as a quality and process engineer. I can tell you very, very strongly, if economy depends on how the market goes and how the job market goes out. But looking at your
mm,
job skill set, looking at your job skill set in the area of manufacturing and all that, trust me, you will find a job. Whether
okay.
you will like it or not, that's a separate story, but you will find a job. I have no doubt in my mind. You need some time. That's it. But the problem here is the situation is so bad right now. But the only places that are opening up for job are right now is manufacturing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that while searching for jobs as
Yeah.
well. I've
So
noticed that.
and your skill set, your certification. That's why I said, did you enjoy Six Sigma? Because that's one thing that manufacturing people love.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, trust me that if you are looking for a job, manufacturing is the place to find a job. But the only thing would be right now, the market is a little bit hesitant because some states are not allowing people to go, because manufacturing you have to go,
Yeah.
right? You have to work. So some
Yeah.
states are not allowing. That's the only problem. So, but I have no doubt in
Yeah.
my mind, if the market opens up, if market becomes better, you will find a job. The problem would be
That's
whether
great.
you like it or not. That's a separate problem. What would you be doing differently, imagining you were in my shoes? So I told you what would I do different already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, so that.
as I said, it depends on person to person also, to be honest, right? My situation, my thinking was completely different. I came here to do
Yeah.
PhD. You came here to work. But I have also known people who came here to work and didn't find a job and joined a PhD, and after that they did excellent. So
Okay.
so
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
accidents do happen. That's fine. But talking to you and just that's what I said. I want to hear from you. I think you could be a good person if you are able to find a good advisor in the area you are interested in, you will be interested because you may work in the area of 3D printing, as you mentioned, right? Additive or something. And there are so many
Yeah.
things that you can work on just as a process engineer, as an experimentalist. You can do so much work in that area. And it's a very, very demanding area, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, I have noticed that. I mean, these days it's being used even for microfluidics and stuff like that. 3D printing everything, 3D printing electronics, 3D
Right.
printing of
No,
body parts,
right,
everything. So,
right, right. So again, my point here is because I think the skill set you have right now, and again, it's either micro manufacturing or macro manufacturing, whatever is it. I think the skill set you have mentioned in your profile, people, especially if there is a professor who is looking for a student in the area of process and so forth, I think you would be a good fit, to be honest. So as I said, there
yeah.
are
Also,
there
how to,
yeah, so that's the reason I said, you can look for a better schools and you never know, you can get a good reply. So if I was you, I will distribute my time. I said, okay, let my plan A will be to apply for jobs. My plan A could be talk to my professor, get some time so that I can stay here, don't get, and then in the meantime, I will either keep applying for job or look for schools, talk to professors and so forth. Keep doing it.
yeah. Okay, that's really helpful comments. I will actually follow up on that and probably talk to some professors, some universities. Uh,
And,
yeah.
and, and in general, as I said, in the area of material science and engineering, or manufacturing or something, whatever, in that area, there are loads of people who are interested in. And the reason is especially with professors because they get a lot of grants from NSF and from this and that. There are a lot of grants that are given in this particular areas and so forth. So, you will be a good candidate, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, and try to find some schools where you can work on some challenging problems and things like that. So I think you can do a better job. So coming back to the point, even if you decide to go back to Nepal and try to do something, if you have a better profile here, let me tell you, as a MIT graduate, if you go back to Nepal, your level of confidence and the opportunities for you would be enormous. If you go from
Yeah.
as a PhD student from University of Utah, it will be less. So you need to understand that. You already told me
Yeah.
your that's your ambition. So most important, you know how to maximize it. So if I was you at
Yeah.
this age, I will fly. Okay, so don't compromise on
Yeah.
things. Don't compromise on things. As I said, you can work on you will find a job. I don't think I have any doubt in my mind that you will not be able to find a job. I think you should be.
Okay.
Even with your international student and so forth, there could be issues because these days visas is a problem. But again, you never know, right? Let's say tomorrow if you decide to stay back in US, a master's degree won't help you, but a PhD degree will go a long way.
Yeah. Also, I have one question that I forgot to mention in the email. So,
Sure.
while applying for the jobs, one company actually replied back and they said that they would offer me a position with a 1 year contract. So, what is your opinion regarding the jobs and contract for say a 1 year?
What are you gonna do after that?
Yeah, that was my question actually.
So
So
so here
after the job finishes, what do I do?
so here is the
So
answer.
that's the question that's stopping me from moving forward with them right
If
now.
As I said, if you are looking for just to so there is another way to look at it because you have to figure it out what you're gonna do. So I will use that 1 year to get some money and at the same time to plan what I'm gonna do next.
Hmm.
So that could be the same thing, right? You will earn money, then you will apply for
Yeah.
a PhD and just move out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, here is another thing, because you will have some job experience, you will do better, but I would always worried about what I'm gonna do next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
But that should not stop you in joining a job because you don't have any other option. You understand my point? You don't have option. The only option you have is go back to Nepal.
yeah.
So, but I will join it, but I will make sure that that time I'm not just spending in doing a job. I will spending it what I'm gonna do next. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
What you want to do
of
next?
course,
Okay.
and that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
So, you mean it would be a good idea for me